Now you can go.
Hi. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and thank you very much to the Sayreville Historical Society for inviting. It's a real honor to be here. Everybody show up on such a beautiful day. I don't know if you heard the story, but when I first found this stack of letters that nobody knew existed for 80 years, and I reached out to the president, I had the entire executive board in my living room within 24 hours. And it was really, they just all drove. And the excitement was palpable. It was really, we understood that something was special about this. And I really want to thank them for taking the torch and following up with this find. What's so remarkable about these letters is the first thing is, as you might have already guessed, we have the gift of gab in the O'Brien family. And nobody heard a thing about it. My grandfather never mentioned it. My father never mentioned anything about these letters. Never. Not a word at all. The second thing is, my father passed, God bless his soul, about a year ago. I'm in a family member's basement looking through my father's belongings. My spouse right there says 6 boxes maximum. Then the dumpster. And I see this box and I say, airmail letters? What is this? Airmail letters? My grandfather didn't know how to read or write. He was from Alabama, rural Alabama, 3rd grade education. Didn't have a thing from him in writing. I thought it was a mistake. I said, this is strange. So quickly, now we're at somebody else's house, quickly I put it in the save pile. Did not know what it was. And the third most remarkable thing about this, because of course later when we opened it, we realized it was a bunch of letters from World War II, written to my grandfather, who had written to all the soldiers. What we realized, the third most remarkable thing, the letters had never been read. Most of these letters they're in perfect condition. They hadn't been read. His goal was to collect the pictures. And he very carefully opened up and you could see sometimes the letter hadn't even been pulled out or read. And when we started to open up how these soldiers poured out their hearts to my grandfather, who was a stranger, it became a really moving story. And I think it's very special. And I hope we get a chance to read some of the letters.
We will.
To you today. I would like to go ahead and quickly read a letter from a soldier that I actually started to, sorry, my dear husband, have a crush on. I know, and when I read his letter, you're going to understand exactly why. His name was Al Shapanik, and I have a picture here, fine looking fella. He served in
could that be Gary's father?
In Albert Shapanik, and he served in the 2nd Armored Division. And he writes, in response to my grandfather, who wrote a letter to over 300 service people, he wrote back and he said, "Dear Dan, January 30th, 1945. Just a few lines to let you know that I have received 2 of your letters, but they were both the same. I enjoyed reading them very much, and I hope to hear the same. I'm somewhere in Belgium. Also have 2 brothers in the infantry. Here, one in Germany and the other in France. It's my 3rd year over here, and I am sure dying to get home and have some of that ice cream you sell. I made some ice cream from snow and cocoa, but it isn't so good. Talk about snow. Every time I look out, it's snowing. It's very cold out here, and the snow is up to our knees. Enclosed, you will find a picture of myself, which you asked for. It was taken in London. Don't let the girls see it. They might kill themselves over it." Well, Dan, that's all I have to say, so I'll say so long, Al. Just to give you, I can give you a quick inventory of what was in the box. So there's a big box. It was mostly alphabetical. There are about 250 letters from soldiers stationed all over the world to Danny's spa, to Danny's luncheonette. They're from Greenland, Okinawa, Northern Africa, Hawaii, London, France, Luxembourg, all over. And there was a typed, that's one thing, typed list of over 350 names. We don't know where that list came from. It's 37 pages of a typed list. There was a newspaper article from 1944 talking about Danny's project and asking the wives to please send Danny the new addresses. because a lot of them had moved on. And there were also many holiday cards, V-mail. You taught me that term, Frank. V-mail. A lot of things I didn't even know. But yeah, there's always. I just want to say this. There's always 50 of these, because some of them were unfortunately returned, meaning the soldiers had probably passed away. And what's impressive, though, is that some of the envelopes had over 6 different postmarks as Uncle Sam tried to get the letters to the soldiers. Danny O'Brien, and this dated from 1944, who owns a soda fountain on Main Street, Sayreville, that operates under Danny's Spa, has a curious hobby. He saves all the local boys in service, the letters, neatly alphabetized in stacks over 800, ranging all the way from the full-blown tales to adventure. Danny takes out the letters on any day, shows them with a proud glint in his eye, with all the tender affection of the inveterate, shows how happy. But they also bring a slight frown to his face, the reminder of a problem. He doesn't have their new addresses. And I really hope that there's some way to get these letters. I think we all agree the most important thing is to the families, because they're really beautiful. And each soldier writing to a friend may be sharing something different, I think, that they might not have shared with a loved one, like a parent. And they share something I think it's different. They're really special. You just have to read 1 or 2 and you'll get the feeling.
It's a great feeling to know that I'm not forgotten. We are way out here, but our thoughts keep straying back to the old hometown. I usually hear from hometown boys in different parts of the world. They sure have those boys all over. We see some good newsreels about what is happening all over. You should see some of the caves they have to clean out. Right now, there are a lot of hometown boys in the Philippines. They are the boys that are bringing the day closer when things can be normal again. We had it okay. During the holidays, we had turkey for Christmas and New Year. We also had some jungle juice. That's powerful stuff. In closing, a picture I had taken a while back. I'll close for now. Thanks for the letter, and please say hello for me to any of the boys you see around. As ever, Stanley. Skirka.
July 11, 1944, India. Hi, Danny. It's been a long time, hasn't it? I really would have written a lot sooner, especially after receiving your Christmas greeting. A lot has happened since you addressed and sent that greeting on its way. From the different forward twos, I can just about trace its path through 3 states and then halfway around the world. I can't tell you how glad I was to receive it, nor what those pictures of your familiar spa meant to me. You see, Danny, it didn't reach me until I had been with our commandos for quite a while, and there our work was continuous, having little leisure time and hardly any means for recreation. I was brought back close to home by those pictures. I have saved the greetings, and even now I have it before me. Thanks. Oh, thanks a lot, Danny. Continued, page 2. I appreciate your thoughtfulness very much. I would have written this letter much sooner, but as it happened, your card arrived at a time when we were extremely busy. Even my letters to home suffered due to the lack of time for writing. For I've heard from various sources that the outfit had a few write-ups in the papers back home. That partially made up for those seemingly endless days of tiresome yet interesting work. But those days are over now. Our work has slowed down to such an extent that it's getting on my nerves. Most of the bomber boys have applied for transfer to a more active squadron, and I am among those. You see, Dan, I am anxious to get in my combat time as soon as possible in order to get home before the coming Christmas. There is a good possibility that I will do this too. I have a nice little memento to remember the outfit by, since I have just recently been awarded the Air Medal. Well, Danny, I will close now. Once again, thanks for the greeting which you sent so long ago. Give my best to your family and to any of my friends who still frequent your spa. Hoping to see you soon in that same spot. I remain your friend, Walt.
This letter is dated May 18th, 1945, coming from the Philippines. Dear Danny, I should have written long before this, but I just couldn't seem to get around to it. I have been in the Philippines for about a month. It took us about 30 days to get here from Hawaii. Although this place is warmer, I like it better than the Marshall Islands where I spent my 6 months. The temperature here stays between 120 and 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Monkeys once ventured the spot which we occupy, but we made them seek shelter elsewhere. There are a variety of poisonous snakes ranging from king cobras to pythons. The Philippine people are good-natured and some of the girls are rather attractive. Being away from the States for 2 years has made them appear quite fair to me. The girls here have no modesty at all. They think nothing of watching a man take a shower. At first, it caused many red faces between us, but now it's just a matter of routine. They have 2 intoxicating beverages. One is called tuba, which is made from coconut milk, and the other is rice whiskey. If you hold your nose, it doesn't taste too bad. Right now, I'm hungry for some home news, also your hamburgers, so try and write. I imagine your boy has really grown since I've seen him last. How is the missus coming along? Had Benny Dominic left the States, or is he still a USO commando? I have returned, Whitey. Okay.
Yeah, he's writing from Montpellier. Okay. Hello there, Danny. This is from Edward Helpa. I am just dropping you a few lines and saying hello and how do you do? I'm doing fine myself and I'm feeling fine and in the best of health. Here's hoping that this letter finds you well also. Here's some swell news, Danny. That is, if you have not heard from Stan lately. I met Stan out here and he certainly looked good and I was very glad to see him. Met him just a little over a week ago. He made a landing on an island. Also have some news if you have not heard about it. I participated in an operation in Leyte Gulf and we shot down several planes and I participated in the naval support of the landing of United States Army troops in Linguinhal Gulf in the island of Luzon in January 9th, 1945. The Leyte operation was on November 27th. Certainly raised Cain with them, Danny. No competition, Danny. No competitive. Oh, so competitive? Danny, ha ha. Okay, yes, that light was a close one, and I don't believe I ever was so scared in my life before. It really was something. Heard from Stan yesterday, but it was one of his letters that was written before I met him. It was from Brick. He is up north a bit further now. Also received a few letters from home and got some sad news. As about quite a few fellas from Sayreville are wounded, killed, or missing. I sure hope this mess is over soon. Well, here's closing for now, Danny. With best regards and wishes always, I remain always Eddie. It makes you think that Danny's luncheonette was a special place, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is from the Philippines, and it's from Chet. First of all, I want to thank you for your letter. Was to write you a long time ago, but didn't have the chance. Always on the go. It's different out here from Sayreville. No banana splits here. There's something so American about wanting, banana splits when you're abroad, right? Okay, for my picture, I haven't any with me, but in future, I'm sure I will send you one. Here's some Japanese invasion money. I'm sending you hope that you will have good luck with it. We'll write more later on. P.S. A cherry color in the house. Sorry, guys. Cherry Coke. He wants a cherry. Oh, he wants a cherry Coke. You got it. That's exactly it. He wants a cherry Coke on the house. This is a special place. You have a very special relationship with soldiering and the war. It moved me just to read Give 'Em Hell, Sayreville, and so many of the soldiers from here survived. There's something special in the water here. Like, what is it?
Don't tell anybody.
I mean, it's actually, it gives you chills when you think that the Sayreville Historical Society just published a book on World War II, Give 'Em Hell, Sayreville, and a month later I find this box lost for 80 years.
And it's ironic.
It gives you the chills. Gives me the chills.
It's Danny's. I mean, there's
It's Danny's. It's Danny's. Yeah.
that wasn't planned. It just happened.
And that is Danny's, and it is crazy. They took the picture of the cover in front of Danny's. Korea, April 17th, 1945. Dear Danny, I finally arrived at my new base overseas, so I thought I'd drop you a line because I know you like to hear from our boys once in a while. I am in, but we're not allowed to say where. Where we are, or give out any information about the base here. We came over by ship and I had a pretty nice trip. It was pretty rough all the way, and but we soon got used to it. We have a pretty nice base now, but don't see much sun here as the weather is usually bad. We have a nice movie hall, even though the shows are a little old, in a place to drink beer and cakes. We got 3 cartons of cigarettes plus 2 bags of candy a month, so that's not bad. We have a couple small towns nearby where we can go on liberty, but they aren't so hot, so we usually stay right in the base because we have all the recreation we want. Well, since there isn't much I can tell you, I guess I'll end now. I need the sleep because pulled a couple good liberties in England, and Scotland before we got here. And I'm pretty tired. Hope this war ends soon, so we will be seeing you. Sincerely, John Englehart. So,
Hundreds of different jobs that it takes to run a military operation all over the world. Men and women from Sayreville.
Hey, Sayreville! Hey!
We have a big world map of 1940.